Why are you still staying at our house? I asked Dad, but seriously, how long are you planning to stick around? Even though I'm hospitalized, the fact that you're still staying at home is seriously irritating. You're not even family, yet you're living here like it's yours. It's honestly exhausting.
June, how's your health? Are you doing okay? I heard the surgery schedule's been decided. I know the cost is going to be pretty high, but don't worry. I'm going to support you with everything I've got, okay?
Huh? What's with that reaction? Get over yourself already. You're just a stepmother. You're acting like you're some sort of real parent. But let me make one thing clear. Not even once have I ever thought of you as family.
This isn't something you should be saying under these circumstances. I'm genuinely concerned about you, you know?
Hearing that from a woman who cozies up to Dad just to swindle money out of him sounds so fake, it's laughable.
Swindle money? Are you still on about that? We've been living together for 3 years now, haven't we? Even I've developed feelings for you in my own way. That's why I'm truly worried about you and want to help however I can.
Oh, spare me the act. I've already heard everything from Dad, okay? He told me it's your fault that his company went under. Sure, things might be rough now, but Dad still thinks about me first. He said he'd make sure I can have any surgery I need.
Wait, what are you even talking about? Your dad's company had already gone under before I even met him.
And that's also because of you. Thanks to you, Dad is super unhappy now, and it's all your fault.
Did Davis really tell you that? I think there's some misunderstandings here. Are you sure you didn't mishear something, June?
As if I'd mishear that. You're just a trashy woman making Dad miserable. Get out already.
Let me talk to Dad about this. Please calm down. I'll get back to you once I've sorted things out. Davis, what did you say to June? She's telling me that I'm the reason your company went under and that I'm trying to scam you out of money and that being with me makes you miserable. Did you say anything that could have caused this misunderstanding?
Huh? What misunderstanding?
What do you mean? All of that is a misunderstanding, obviously.
Everything she said is the truth, isn't it?
Wait a second, that's not something I can let slide. I don't know anything about your company going under. That happened before we even met.
Yeah, because it was a company propped up by my ex-wife's relatives. When we got divorced, the company collapsed too. So since we got married, that means you're partly to blame for it, doesn't it?
What kind of logic is that? I don't get it at all. And what's this about me trying to scam money from you? When have I ever done such a thing? I've been helping cover our living expenses this whole time.
Well, that's more of a metaphorical thing.
A metaphor? I don't understand. You're just using me as a scapegoat to explain why you're broke, aren't you? And you're doing this while June is about to have surgery. By the way, have you even saved up any money for her surgery?
Money? What money?
The money for June's surgery. Don't tell me you're expecting me to pay for all of it.
Well, let me ask you, do you think I have that kind of money?
No, I didn't think so. But at least try to save up something. She's your daughter, isn't she?
You have money, so it should be fine.
You're seriously calling me a scam artist and a trash woman, but now you expect me to foot the bill? If you want me to pay, the least you can do is clear my name and convince June of the truth.
Got it. Yeah, I'll do it when I feel like it.
Also, when are you planning to come back home? Where are you even staying right now?
I've got a lot going on, okay?
I've been telling you we need to have a proper conversation. I'm really starting to reach my limit here.
Fine. I'll think about it. I'll tell June something that makes her feel better. You just play along for now, okay?
Play along? I can't do that. I'm just going to stick to the facts. That's all I can do.
Has the house been cleaned up yet? Make sure you throw out all your stuff too, all right?
Wait, cleaning up the house? What are you talking about? And what do you mean by my stuff?
I'm talking about your belongings, duh. When are you going to leave? Make sure you're out before I'm admitted to the hospital, all right?
You want me to leave? Are you serious right now? Didn't you talk this over with your dad?
Oh, I talked to him. And guess what? After our chat, it's clear that you're no longer needed in our family. You're basically garbage to us.
What on earth are you talking about?
Dad said you tricked him. He wanted to pay for my surgery, but all his money has been drained by you. He said he's only been putting up with you because he has no other choice and has to rely on you to foot the bill. Honestly, it's pathetic. What kind of scumbag are you?
Hold on a second. You're not seriously believing all of that, are you?
Of course I believe it. Why wouldn't I believe my dad, you lying piece of trash?
You've got to stop this. Calm down and try to think clearly for once. Do you really believe I'd do something like that? I understand wanting to trust your father, but after everything that's happened, don't you see how wrong this all sounds?
I don't care what you think. Just pack up and get out. I don't want to see your face anymore. If you're still here when I get out of the hospital, I will personally make sure you're gone.
That's enough. The way you're talking is cruel. If you keep this up, you're going to regret it later.
Regret? The only one who's going to regret anything is you. Your days of leeching off me and Dad are over. Didn't you say you saw me as your own daughter?
Of course I did. We've lived together for 3 years. I've been doing everything I can to build a good relationship with you.
Well, guess what? I never thought of you as family. Not even once. Seriously, who even are you? You're just some random stepmother. I've never acknowledged you as my family and never will. Make sure you're out of here before my surgery is over. If you're not gone when I'm discharged, I'm going to lose it.
All right, fine. If you're going to be this hostile, I don't have a choice. But since you're telling me to leave, I hope you've figured out where you're going to stay.
Excuse me? What are you rambling on about? Just take your stuff and disappear already.
Okay, well, good luck with your surgery. I hope everything goes smoothly. That is, if the surgery even happens.
Where are you right now?
Why are you asking?
The house key isn't working. I can't unlock the door. If you're home, just open it already. I know you can hear me.
Oh, so you still thought you could come back here, huh?
What? You're the one who told me to come back, remember?
I honestly didn't think you'd actually show up. You've been gone for a whole month without a word. I assumed you weren't coming back.
Just open the door. It's freezing out here.
I'm not in that house anymore.
What? What do you mean? Where are you?
I don't see why I need to tell you that. That house is my property, and I'm free to do with it as I please, including changing the locks.
You changed the lock? What the hell?
Oh, don't act surprised. You've been living in my house rent-free, not contributing a dime, and then you disappear to hang out with someone else. Now you want me to just let you back in because it's cold? Oh, get real.
Wait a second. Renly, what's going on here?
I've had enough. I'm filing for divorce. I've already sent the papers to your workplace, along with documentation of your infidelity.
What? Infidelity? What the hell are you talking about?
I'm done with this life. The house is mine, and I've already decided to put it on the market. Don't even think about trying to claim any of it. I've already handled everything, and your share has been offset by the damages.
Damages? What damages? I have no idea what you're even saying.
Oh, and about Jane's surgery, I've decided I won't be covering the costs anymore.
What? But the surgery's tomorrow, isn't it?
And?
She's been in the hospital preparing for this surgery, right? We've already paid for the previous procedures, haven't we?
Speaking of the previous surgeries, you'll need to pay me back for those. Remember, I loaned you that money, and I made sure to have proper documentation.
Wait. I can't understand any of this. What are you even saying?
That's not my problem. You'll be hearing from my lawyer soon. If you have any questions, you can ask them.
Renly, please, wait! Are you serious about the divorce?
Didn't June tell me herself? Apparently I've made you both miserable. And honestly, when I think about it, I can only remember being happy for the first 6 months of our marriage. After that, it's been nothing but dealing with June's tantrums and trying to support you financially and emotionally. I haven't had a chance to think about my own happiness.
But I need you! You can't just walk away like this. What are you talking about? Yeah, I'm done with broke, unfaithful losers like you. Goodbye. Oh, and do give my regards to your daughter. Just know I'll be collecting every penny you owe me. Be ready for that.
Hey, what's going on? They just told me that my surgery has been canceled out of nowhere. I tried contacting Dad, but he told me to call you instead. This makes no sense. What the hell is going on here?
I'll make it simple for you. I'm not paying 5 million yen for your surgery anymore.
What?
Oh, don't tell me you still believed your father was going to pay for it. Did you honestly think your dad was the kind of person who'd cover the cost of your surgery?
Well, yeah, of course I did, isn't he?
Ugh, you're wrong, completely wrong. Every single time before this, I was the one paying. You said you wanted to fix the scars from that car accident when you were little because they made you feel insecure as a woman. I wanted to support you, so I paid for all of it, every procedure. But this time, I've decided I'm not doing it anymore.
Wait, are you saying you've been paying for all of this up until now?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. I've told you this before, too. Whatever lies your father has been feeding you, I've never lied to you, not even once. The one who's been deceiving you is your father.
So you're saying you've paid for all of my surgeries, every single one?
That's right. But here's something else you probably didn't know. After discussing it with Davis, the debt is actually under your name.
What? Debt?
Of course. This isn't some small sum of money I could just casually hand over. With interest, I planned to have you repay it later in life. But this time I'm not paying a yen more. The surgery's been canceled.
You're canceling it? Do you have any idea how much this surgery means to me? My whole future depends on it. My entire life is on the line here.
Listen to me, a person's life isn't determined by their appearance. Your scars are barely noticeable now. They're practically invisible. Your looks are perfectly fine just the way they are.
What?
There is absolutely no need for full-body plastic surgery. That's just my opinion, of course, and it's your decision at the end of the day. But I have no obligation to pay for it anymore. And since I'm no longer part of your life, this is where I step back.
What do you mean, no longer part of my life?
It's exactly what it sounds like. I'm divorcing your father, which makes us strangers. Congratulations, right? You've always wanted the stranger to leave, haven't you?
Wait, hold on. What? You're divorcing him now? And you're doing it without even paying for my surgery? That's way too cruel.
Oh, and by the way, while you've been so insistent that I leave, you and your father will need to leave too.
What are you talking about? Why would we have to leave?
That house, I've decided to sell it.
What?
That's right. It's my house, originally my mother's house, actually. When you and Davis moved in, I allowed it because it was convenient for us all. But now that I've looked into it, the property value has increased significantly. It's too big for just me, and selling it seems like the best option.
Wait, what? What are you even saying? That's my home!
Oh, now you want to call it your home? You've always insisted that I'm a stranger to you, haven't you? How ridiculous is it to claim that a house owned by a stranger belongs to you? Let me make this clear. My house is mine. And as you've said so many times, we are strangers. So I'm afraid you'll have to figure out where to live on your own.
This makes no sense. First my surgery gets canceled, and now you're saying I'm losing my home too? This is beyond cruel. Are you seriously mocking us?
Mocking you? Really? Take a good long look in the mirror. Who's been exploiting and ridiculing whom all this time?
What?
You and your father have done nothing but take from me. You've belittled me, disrespected me, and treated me like trash. And all the while, I tried my best. I cared about Davis, and because of that, I care about you, too. Even though I was just your stepmother, I wanted to support you and be there for you. But who trampled on all of that? It was you and your father.
No, I didn't mean to.
At this point, it doesn't matter what you meant to do. I've done everything I could for this family. I contributed, I cared, and I tried to make things work. But it wasn't enough. And since that's the case, I am done here.
Done? What am I supposed to do now? My surgery's been canceled, and they're telling me I have to be discharged from the hospital soon. Where am I supposed to go after that? When are you selling the house?
What you do after your discharge is your responsibility. As for the house, I haven't sold it yet, but I've already changed the locks. You won't be able to get back in.
You're kidding, right?
Your dad seemed pretty worried, so why don't you figure something out together? You're both adults now, handle it yourselves. As for me, I'm officially a stranger. Goodbye.
You took care of us all this time, and now you're just abandoning us? What am I supposed to do if I don't even have a home to go back to?
That's not my concern anymore. I have no obligation to support you any further. You're 18, aren't you? Maybe it's time to start taking some responsibility for yourself. Good luck. Oh, and congratulations. This stranger is finally out of your life.
Hey, Renly, I'd like to talk to you for a bit. Is that okay?
There's nothing left for us to talk about.
Please don't say that. I spoke with Dad. I finally realized that I misunderstood everything, so I just want to apologize. Could you come back home? Let's meet and talk directly. Dad's sorry too, and honestly, if we don't sort this out, we're in a real bind. We need to get back into the house.
I refuse.
Wait, why?
Huh? Because I don't want to, that's why.
Excuse me? After everything I'm saying here?
Yeah, no, I don't care. So no thanks.
Wait a second, Renly, I'm apologizing here. Dad's apologizing too, and he's genuinely reflecting on everything. Can't you at least give us a chance to talk? I misunderstood, that's all it was.
Let me be blunt. Do you honestly think your apology is worth anything to me at this point?
What? What are you saying?
What I mean is your apology holds zero value to me now. None. And let me guess, Davis told you to contact me, didn't he? The two of you are panicking because you've got nowhere to live and no money to your name. So you thought you'd reach out to me, didn't you? Well, I'll save you some trouble. Nothing you say will change my mind.
You don't understand, though. The hospital bill was outrageously expensive. I scraped together what little I could from my savings and even borrowed from friends, but it's just not enough. I can't pay it. When I brought it up to Dad, he said I had to talk to you about the house. What am I supposed to do here? I am completely stuck.
Don't ask me, June. I'm not your mother, and I'm not your guardian. What you do from now on is your own problem. Talk it over with that father of yours or figure it out yourself.
But Renly, I really thought of you as my mom. I looked up to you so much.
Please don't even bother with such obvious lies at this point. You're pathetic. Do you even realize how transparent you are? You're as bad as your father. No surprise there. Just stop contacting me. Like you said before, we're strangers now, so stay that way.
Renly, I know I was wrong, but to send a certified letter and divorce papers to my workplace like that, I have no home. I've run out of money for even a cheap motel. Isn't it time to let this go? Please, forgive me.
What? Are you still dreaming?
Dreaming? Renly, I'm apologizing sincerely here. I've thought about everything I've done, the cheating, the neglect, and I regret it. I should have taken the time to work things out with you long ago. I get that now. So, can't you give me one last chance?
This isn't about forgiveness anymore. It's over. Didn't the lawyer explain everything to you?
He did, but
Then that's all there is to say. Every word in those letters is exactly what I meant. The $100,000 I lent you over the years, yeah, I expect that paid back in full. Did you really think you could cheat on me, brush me aside, and walk away without any consequences? Oh, you're a joke. Honestly, it's sad. Your daughter is probably mortified to have a father as incompetent as you.
I'm begging you, don't make things worse for us. Is this really about revenge? You don't need to go this far, do you? Is this some kind of cruel payback?
Oh, revenge, huh? Sounds like you know exactly what you did to deserve it. If you're calling this revenge, then you must realize what you and your daughter did to me all those years ago wasn't just misunderstandings. You knew it was wrong, you just didn't care.
It's not that I didn't care. It's just, I mean...
No excuses, Davis. You knew, but you never tried to change. That's the saddest part about you, and guess what? None of it matters to me anymore. I couldn't care less about you or your mess. Don't contact me again. Oh, and about that loan, don't forget to pay it back. Bye now.
Renly, do you have a moment? I'd like to meet if possible. There's something I need to talk to you about.
Who is this?
Please don't say that. It's me, June.
Oh, June! I'd completely forgotten about you. So what do you want? If you're asking me to meet, my answer is no. And if you're here to ask for money, let me stop you right now. I don't have any to lend.
No, I'm not texting you to borrow money.
Oh, you're not? Then what on earth do you want from me?
I wanted to thank you, that's all.
Thank me? For what exactly?
For paying for my surgery. You covered the costs, didn't you? I went back and reread some of the messages you sent me before about how you were worried about my scars. It made me realize I might have treated you unfairly. I started thinking maybe I was the one who did something really awful. So I just wanted to say thank you for helping me back then. I didn't appreciate it properly at the time, and that was wrong of me.
Well, a thank you. After all this time, what am I supposed to do with that?
I understand how it must sound saying this now. I know you probably think we'll never meet again, and I know what my father and I did to you was unforgivable. But even so, I felt like I couldn't move forward without at least expressing my gratitude to you. You did something kind for me, and I didn't even acknowledge it properly. That's why I'm reaching out now.
June, you seem different somehow, like you've changed. You're still young, you know, you've got time. Focus on moving forward and doing better from now on.
About the surgery costs you paid for, I've decided I'm going to work hard to pay it all back. I'm done with the idea of getting full-body cosmetic surgery. I've stopped pursuing that entirely.
Oh, is that so?
Yes. I've come to believe in the last words you said to me.
The last words I said? Wait, what did I even say?
You told me there wasn't anything wrong with the way I looked. And after thinking about it, I realized that you might be right. Maybe I'm not as terrible looking as I thought. So from here on, I'm going to try harder to improve myself. Not my appearance, but who I am as a person. I'm truly sorry for how I treated you in the past, and I really mean it when I say thank you for everything you've done for me.
If you've come to understand that, then I'm glad. And remember, as you move forward, make sure to keep your father's mistakes as a lesson in what not to do. I've never reached out to June myself, not because I didn't care, but because I wasn't sure what to say or how to approach her after everything that happened. Life had taken us in different directions, and there were moments when I just didn't know how to bridge the gap between us, not even with a simple message. We used to be close, sharing so many things, but things change, and sometimes the distance between people grows even when you don't want it to. However, even though I didn't make an effort to contact her, I still heard about her every now and then. It wasn't through her directly or anything personal, but I would occasionally hear little tidbits of information here and there, often from mutual acquaintances who had stayed in touch with her. These weren't detailed conversations or anything too intimate, just passing comments or a quick mention of how she was doing. And from those snippets I got the sense that she had been working really hard. In fact, it was a bit more than just working hard. The way people described it, it sounded like she was truly giving everything she had to her job. It wasn't all that surprising to me, though. I knew how determined June could be when she set her mind to something. She was always the kind of person who threw herself into whatever she did, with a focus and intensity that was hard to ignore. Whether it was her career or something else, once she committed, she would dedicate herself fully. I remember the way she used to talk about her ambitions, about how she had big dreams and plans, and I could always see that drive in her. It was one of the things that I admired about her. I think part of me had always known she'd keep pushing herself, even if we weren't in constant contact. When people told me about her, I could hear the pride in their voices. It was clear that she had made an impact, not just in her work, but in the lives of those around her. It was almost as if her efforts, her dedication, were starting to pay off. Still, it was hard not to feel a little left behind. As I heard these things, I couldn't help but reflect on where I was in my life, on how things had turned out for me. While June had thrown herself into her work, I felt like I was still stuck in a holding pattern, not really sure of where to go next or what the next step was. And even though I didn't feel resentful of her success, there was this lingering feeling of uncertainty about my own choices. It wasn't that I was unhappy for her, it was more about the contrast between where she was and where I seemed to be. The odd thing is, I never really reached out to ask her how she was doing, even when I thought about it. There was always this barrier, this space between us that made it difficult to take that first step. Maybe it was pride, maybe it was fear, or maybe it was just the realization that things were different now, and the connection we once had didn't feel like it could ever be the same again. The longer time went on without contact, the harder it felt to break that silence. I didn't want to disturb her if she was content with her life, and I didn't want to reopen old wounds if there were things she wanted to leave behind. At the same time, though, there was always a part of me that hoped she was doing okay. No matter how far apart we had grown, no matter how much time had passed, I wanted to believe that she was happy, that she was thriving in whatever she was doing. It wasn't about me needing to be a part of her life again. It was about hoping that she was finding the fulfillment she deserved, especially considering how hard she had always worked for it. Even when I heard about her success, there was still this nagging question in my mind. Did she ever think about me? Did she ever wonder what had happened between us, or if I was okay? I know it's a silly thought, but there were moments when I wondered if she ever missed our conversations, our time together. There were so many memories, some good, some bad, but they were all a part of the story of who we were. And now I was just hearing about her secondhand from people who weren't a part of the life we used to share. In a way, hearing these things about June, even from a distance, gave me a sense of closure. I didn't need to have a deep conversation with her or even rebuild our connection. Knowing that she was doing well, that she was working hard and making something of herself was enough for me. It was enough to know that she had found her way, even if our paths no longer crossed. I don't know if I'll ever reach out to her. The thought crosses my mind occasionally, but it's always accompanied by doubt. What would I say? Would it even matter? The time that had passed felt like a wall, and I wasn't sure how or if I could break through it. But for now, I'm content with what I know. She's working hard, and I believe she's doing well. Maybe that's enough for now, and maybe one day, if the moment feels right, we'll find our way back to each other. But until then, I'll continue on my own path, hoping that she's happy and fulfilled in everything she does, just as I hope for myself. However, as for Davis, things have only continued to go from bad to worse. It's strange, isn't it? We have our moments of struggle, but there are some people whose lives seem to spiral uncontrollably, no matter how much they try to get things back on track. Davis is one of those people. A few years ago, he had a decent job, nothing spectacular, but enough to get by. He always seemed to be doing well on the surface, but deep down, I think he was always searching for something more, always trying to fill a void that was never truly satisfied. But it's hard to pretend everything's fine when everything is falling apart beneath you. The company he worked for eventually let him go. It wasn't really a surprise, considering his increasingly erratic behavior and the way his personal life seemed to bleed into his professional one. He had always been a bit careless, reckless even. With the choices he made, and now it was catching up with him, he couldn't hide behind the facade of stability anymore. Then, to make matters worse, there's the issue with the woman he was having an affair with. The whole situation was a mess from the start, a ticking time bomb that was bound to explode. Her husband found out, and it wasn't just a matter of betrayal. It turned into a full-blown legal battle. The man filed a lawsuit accusing Davis of causing harm and emotional distress. Davis didn't take it seriously at first. After all, he thought he could get away with it, as he often did with things. But now it's something he can't ignore. The weight of the legal pressure, combined with his professional downfall, seems to be taking its toll on him. Now he's buried under a mountain of debt, struggling to pay back loans and facing the consequences of his actions. His financial situation is a nightmare, and it's not like there's any clear path for him to escape it. He burned bridges with most of his friends, including me, and there's no one left to turn to for help. All the mistakes he made, the lies, the poor choices, have come back to haunt him. It's almost like watching a slow-motion train wreck. You can see it happening, but there's nothing anyone can do to stop it. And honestly, at this point, I don't know if there's any hope left for him. He's always been a bit of a troublemaker, but now it's like he's beyond redemption. Every time I hear about his situation, it's like one bad thing after another. There's no moment of relief, no glimpse of light at the end of the tunnel. It's all just darkness for him right now, and it's hard to see how he'll ever get out of it. It's strange, though. Part of me feels a little sorry for him. I've known Davis for a long time, and while he's made some terrible decisions, I never thought it would end like this. But then again, I also can't help but feel a little frustrated with him. After all, this is the result of his own choices. He could have chosen a different path, could have made better decisions, but he didn't. Instead, he let his greed, his selfishness, and his inability to think things through control his life. Now he's reaping what he sowed, and it's painful to watch. I suppose it's a reminder that not everyone's going to make it out okay. We all want to believe that people can turn things around, that there's always a way out of a bad situation, but sometimes there isn't. Sometimes people make mistakes that they can't undo, and the consequences are too severe to recover from. It's a harsh reality, but it's one that Davis is facing now. I don't know if he realizes it, but there's no coming back from this for him. Sure, people can change, but he's gone too far down this road. The damage is done. He's lost everything that mattered, and it seems like he's finally reaching the point where he's run out of chances. There really are people in this world who just don't have a way out, who are so deeply entangled in their own bad decisions that they can't even see a way to turn it around. It's a sobering thought, and it's hard to come to terms with, but sometimes it's just how life goes. When I think about Davis, I don't feel angry anymore. Maybe I did at one point, but now it's just sad. He's someone I used to know, someone I thought had potential, but he let it all slip away, and now it seems like he's a lost cause. It's a shame, really, but it's also a reminder that we all have to be careful with the choices we make. We might think we're invincible or that we can get away with things, but eventually, everything catches up with you. So now, all I can do is watch from the sidelines, knowing that there's no turning back for him. The worst part is that I'm not sure he even knows how to change. It's too late for him to fix things now, and that's the hardest truth of all. If only I could have made June, my daughter, realize at least that much. Maybe then there would have been some meaning to me being a part of this family after all. It's a thought that's weighed heavily on me for a long time now, one that comes to mind more often than I would like to admit. It's strange how parents, we can devote so much of our lives to raising our children, trying to give them everything we can, and yet there are times when we feel like we've failed in some way, like all our efforts, all our sacrifices have been in vain. I've always believed that family is important, that it's the foundation upon which everything else is built. But there are moments when I wonder if I really made an impact on June's life. Was I able to guide her in the right direction? Did I teach her the things that really mattered? Or was I just a figure in the background of her life, a mere placeholder for someone who should have been more present, more effective? I know that no parent is perfect, and I've certainly made mistakes, but I always tried to be there for her, always tried to be the kind of parent she needed. There were times when I was too harsh, times when I was too lenient, and times when I simply didn't know what to do. But through it all, my one constant thought was that I had to do my best for her, that she was the one thing that mattered most. But as I reflect on all of this, I can't help but wonder if I was ever really able to reach her. I've watched her grow up, seen her make her own decisions, and sometimes I can't help but feel like I've been on the sidelines, unable to help her in the ways I thought I would. There are times when she seems so distant, so far removed from the person I hoped she would become. It's not that I don't see the good in her. She's strong, independent, and capable of so much. She has her own dreams and aspirations, and she's going after them with a determination that reminds me so much of myself when I was her age. But still, I wonder if I did enough to show her how to navigate the complexities of life. Life isn't always about being strong or independent. It's about understanding the importance of connection, of family, and knowing when to rely on others. I wonder if I taught her that lesson, or if she has to learn it the hard way on her own. It's not easy to admit, but there are times when I feel like I failed her. I wanted to be the kind of parent who could give her everything, guidance, wisdom, love, and support, but sometimes it feels like I've given her nothing at all. I suppose it's a natural feeling for any parent to have, especially when you see your child struggle. You wonder if there was something you could have done differently, something you could have said or done to make a difference. And yet, when I look at June now, I see a woman who is so much like me in so many ways. She's strong, she's driven, and she has this incredible ability to move forward no matter what. It's a quality that I've always admired in her, but even so, I sometimes wish I had been able to be there for her, more in her moments of uncertainty. I wish I could have helped her navigate the harder parts of life, the moments when she felt lost or unsure, the times when she needed guidance but wasn't sure where to find it. If only I could have made her see, really see, that family is the one thing you can always count on. It's not about always getting things right or being perfect. It's about being there for each other through all the challenges of life. If only I could have made her understand the importance of leaning on those who care about you when things get tough, instead of trying to handle everything alone. I guess in the end, it's not about me being perfect or always being the right kind of parent. It's about the love and care that I gave her, the foundation I built for her, even if I wasn't always able to express it in the right ways. Maybe, just maybe, the fact that she's out there doing her best, living her life the way she sees fit, means I did something right along the way. It's hard to see her struggle, especially knowing how much she's been through. I wish I could take away her pain, protect her from the hardships that life throws at her, but I know that's not something I can do. All I can do is be here for her now, support her in whatever way she needs, and hope that, in time, she'll come to see the love and care that I've always had for her, even when I couldn't always show it. I suppose if there's one thing that I've learned from all of this, it's that family is a journey, not a destination. It's not about getting everything right all the time. It's about being there, showing up, and being willing to put in the effort, no matter how difficult it gets. And maybe, just maybe, that's the one thing that will help her realize what really matters. Maybe if I can keep showing up, she'll come to understand that the meaning of family is in the support we give each other, even when we don't have all the answers.
Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.